Yep.
All right, ladies and gentlemen,
Hello.
welcome to BlackBerry Central Podcast number 9. I'm your host today, Scott, and with me we got good old friend Jared, who's been around on the podcast a number of times.
I am back.
Yeah, he's back from a little bit of a hiatus. And
Yeah.
I don't know if I should call him the community guest or the next member of the BlackBerry Central podcast crew, or BlackBerry Central crew in general, but we got Khaled here back as well. So, what are we doing today?
Good. How are you guys doing?
I'm doing all right. Jared, welcome back, buddy.
Yep. Thanks.
So, just a few things for everyone. Just a quick list of the topics we'll be going into today. We'll talk a little bit about BBM and the PayPal and just the monetization of it. Of course, the good technology purchase, which BlackBerry just announced a little while ago. The upcoming earnings call on the 25th of September. The Venice, of course, which is the hot topic, and even hotter is potentially the potential name of the device. And then that kind of couples into the future BlackBerry 10. And we'll finish off with some Q&A that we got coming in from various Twitter and our BlackBerry channel. So let's, before we dive in, actually, I'd like to mention that currently at BlackBerry Central, we do have a contest running. And that's a Fund the Phone contest. So basically, purchase a t-shirt and you get a chance to win a BlackBerry device of your choice, less the Porsche design ones. And if you buy 3 t-shirts, you get 4 chances to win. So it's a pretty good deal. So if you're interested, you can buy the site. There's a blog post up there. There's a post on it, and you can get the link on how to purchase your t-shirt. I know I got one coming. So
do I.
yeah, nice.
The odds of winning are still pretty good.
The odds of winning are actually astronomical. Hopefully I won Lotto Max last night, which I haven't checked yet, and I won't even need to win the t-shirt or through the contest, but I doubt that. So still holding on tight. Anyway, let's dive in. We got another BBM beta release there this week. PayPal has gone more expand. What's your guys' thoughts on that? Why don't you kick us off, Jared? What's your thoughts on the whole BBM and PayPal?
I never received the update. It's still in beta, right? I'm not in the beta group anymore. But I believe I don't know about an extension, but sort of an evolution on BBM money, I'm guessing. Because instead of doing an in-house payment transfer thing, they decided to do a partnership. That's my take on it. And I think that's easier for them. Like, it's easier to do a partnership than it is to make your own stuff. And it's also, with one partnership, it can always lead into different things. That's how it's worked for most partnerships that BlackBerry has had. I don't know. I don't really know how much that's really going to affect things and how much people are really going to use it. What other messaging services actually have a money transfer so far? Is BlackBerry really ahead of the curve there, or is it something that they're just catching up on?
Personally, I'm not 100% sure. I haven't really used many other messaging services, but I can't think of a lot of money transfers. Like one of the things.
Because I've heard of WhatsApp getting involved in that, but I don't know if that's actually if it's been done.
I use WhatsApp, and I don't think it's been done yet.
No.
Okay. So, that also might be another reason why they decided to go with PayPal instead of rolling out BBM money like they did in where was it? They rolled out BBM money in Indonesia?
Yeah, in Indonesia.
Yeah. Instead of doing BBM money all like a general release, they probably decided to go through PayPal because it was easier to get to market. If they wanted to beat WhatsApp to this money transfer thing, that's why they went with a partnership with the already established money transfer technology. That's what I think.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing for me is actually, PayPal's been around for a significant amount of time now. It's a well-known brand. A significant amount of people use it, so it's not starting from the bottom of the barrel, right? What do you think, Cal? Have you gotten it? Have you used it? Any ideas? Any thoughts?
I haven't gotten it yet, and I haven't used it, but I just think that it's I think it's a waste of time personally because everybody can email transfer money now, right? Or text
Yeah.
transfer money.
Yeah.
So really, I don't know how. I don't know. Like, is BBM going to charge for transferring money? Because I think it's $1 if you transfer email transfer.
Yeah, it's $1 for an email Interact transfer
Yeah.
here in Canada.
Yeah,
Not sure what
transfer fee. And you know what? If BBM is doing that, and I don't see a problem with that, that e transfer fee essentially goes to BlackBerry instead of going to Interact.
Yeah. I just see it as another strategy behind John Chen's grand strategy of making money out of BBM, right? He's still looking for that $500 million
Yeah.
mark, which they're not coming close to. And I forgot to mention, hope if anyone hears a little baby in the background, it's because I'm taking care of my son today. So he's kicking, lying down next to me, making some sounds. So apologize to the viewers, but that's the reality of my life right now. Anyway, carrying on, it's just to me, it's another strategy. I'm sure BBM and PayPal do have an agreement that BBM is going to get a certain percentage of the various transfers, right? And that's just another part of the whole strategy of making money through the program. Overall, I don't think the programs are making actually a real ton of money. It's keep pushing stickers, which I won't go down the path of, but I can't stand them. But it's not really making a ton of money, and I don't know if they're going to hit their goal this year. What do you guys think? Like, how can BBM seriously make more money other than charging to use its core service? Any ideas?
Well, I would broaden the question and say, how can any messaging system make a lot of money? They want to avoid ads, and ads is the one way, like one surefire way of making a good deal of money, but you annoy your customers pretty quickly.
Yeah.
As far as I know, there's no precedent set for a messaging system that's made a lot of money, and there's been many messaging systems over the years. So if John Chen is able to monetize BBM properly and get a lot of money out of it, he would be the first one to do so. It's not an easy system to monetize. Microsoft acquired Skype a couple years ago. I don't know how much money they're making off of that. I don't know. They're going to be constantly adding extra features and gimmicks and this and that and whatever as a way to justify, or not justify, but trying to find ways for people to spend money, reasons to spend money on it. So far, for like an average user myself, who doesn't actually have a whole lot of BBM contacts, I've got no reason to spend any money. I don't buy stickers. I don't buy like a specialized pin. I don't do any of that stuff.
Yeah. And I think that the potential that they had with channels, they haven't put any work into it, but there was a lot of potential there. There was a lot you could make money there on.
Yeah, channels is a huge wasted opportunity right now.
Yeah.
I don't know. They're probably because of their new enterprise focus. They don't see an enterprise use for channels. Channels is a very consumer oriented feature, and it's just kind of fallen by the wayside. There hasn't been a serious channels update in a long time, and that's why it's kind of been withering on the vine there.
Yeah, it's very sad. I agree with you for sure. Completely. Even on the enterprise side, though, you could use there. And I'm subscribed to a number of channels that are enterprise channels. Time is on there and a few other ones, and marketing, posting of articles, whatever is all there. So it is. Sorry to cut you off, Jared, but keep running with your train of thought there.
Well, there is potential, right? But it's just something that they've chosen to ignore for now. But yeah, I'd probably say if there's any way of monetizing BBM, it has to be somewhere where in some way that differentiates it from other messaging services. So like a basic messaging services is really hard to monetize, but channels is different. It's a special thing that's different from other messaging services, and that's probably their best shot. That's probably their best opportunity to monetize is with channels, but they're wasting that opportunity.
I was thinking about this the other day. I'm an investor, and obviously I want to see the company turn around, and I think they can go ahead and reach their goal eventually, but I'm trying to figure out why. So I was thinking to myself, how can BBM get more money? And what's the trend right now? The trend is really social, right? Social media, all this social stuff. And as much as what we think it is, BBM isn't really a social app in the context of like Facebook and Twitter and all that, and that you need to actually somewhat know the person, get their PIN and all this stuff. So I'm thinking actually the way BBM needs to make its money isn't through more services that you end up paying for. They need to largen up their subscriber base and make the app a little bit more social. So it's like, okay, so how can they actually do that? Well, the wasted opportunity is actually, I think now, through groups. And if they actually went and turned groups into a social thing, in that you can actually search groups and have different interest groups and getting people to come in and say, hey, I'm a Montreal Canadian fan. I'll search Montreal Canadiens groups and, get in on the chats, whatever.
The keyword you're looking for is chat room.
Yeah, well, so and that's effective.
It'd be a lot like I think it'd be a lot like Tiny Chat. Tiny Chat does that, where you can create a room and then people from anywhere can just join you. If sometimes you can password protect it, but you can make public groups for Tiny Chat. And if BBM groups did the very similar thing, I think that'd be a pretty good idea.
I think that's the next evolution. Is not more services that you end up having to pay for, but more people using the app. That's the problem. That's the core problem, because if percent or 0.5% of the users spend $1 on the app for a year or a month, but we have a couple 100 million users, then we're actually going to see them reach their goal.
Yeah, you need volume.
Yeah, I think that's the problem right now. It's the volume, and how do they increase the volume? Not how do we increase the number of ways of spending money.
Yeah, instead of a few people spending a number of dollars, it has to be a lot of people spending very little money, and that has to add up. So it's a lot easier for people to spend 50 cents, $1, rather than $5 for a sticker pack or something like that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So, Khaled, any final thoughts? What do you think?
I think that's a great idea. What is it called? Tiny Chat that does that?
Tiny Chat, yeah. It's like old school chat rooms on your phone.
Yeah. Well, maybe BlackBerry should go out and just buy Tiny Chat and suck it into the BB10 or BBM.
Wouldn't that be something?
So, and speaking of buying things and sucking them in, let's move on to our next topic, which is the Good Technology purchase.
Ooh.
All right. So, Good Technology, which is a actual direct competitor of BlackBerry in the enterprise mobile management systems. BlackBerry went ahead and announced that they're purchasing them for, I believe, $425 million off the top of my head. What's your guys' thoughts? Khaled, how about you start us off on what do you think about that?
It's a great way to knock out a competitor, that's for sure.
If you can't beat them, join them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Good Technology apparently has like a number of apps and stuff like that which are being used across the different companies. So it'll be interesting to see if they come into BlackBerry 10 now once this purchase gets finalized. Do you have any thoughts there, Jared, on the whole not merger or purchase?
Well, Good Technology just became Better Technology. Well, I don't know why. I actually wonder why it took BlackBerry this long. They've been sitting on money for so long and decided just now to actually buy one of their competitors. It would have definitely helped their stock if they did it sooner. I don't know if they were, I wonder if they actually have like an acquisition like timeline or roadmap. Like we want to own these guys, but before we do, we have to own this, and we have to own this, and we have to own this. If they knew they needed like watchdogs, and they needed I don't know, the virtual sim thing.
Oh, Secure Smart.
Yeah, Secure Smart, and I don't know if they planned out like long term before getting good technology, but I wonder if they actually have a plan of specific companies they need to own before whatever. Now, now that they own good technology, I fully expect them to absorb good, and then good is just going to go like Nokia, right? Or even Motorola. Like they're even more so. I don't think good is really going to exist. I think it's going to be fully absorbed. Because the whole point is to get some of those that technology and some of those patents and that market share, but to also reduce the number of competitors.
Yeah.
So I don't see why would you keep it around, right? Because if you're trying to boost the BlackBerry name, why would you keep another competitor in your field if you own them, right? Uh, that's, I mean, Best Buy and Future Shop did a very similar thing. Two names owned by Best Buy, they compete with themselves, but even Best Buy realized that wasn't that strategy wasn't working anymore. So, I mean, if you buy a competitor, there's no real reason to keep them around. Now, I wonder if they're going to continue. I wonder if what were the other ones? I wonder if
Mobile Iron, maybe.
which one?
Mobile Iron.
Yeah, Mobile Iron. I wonder if Mobile Iron is next.
Well,
Otherwise,
they'd have to be careful, right? Because when a company gets into that mode of just buying up every single competitor out there, government eventually steps in because all of a sudden you go into a monopoly.
monopolize. Yeah.
Yeah, monopolize, right? So
Yeah.
they'll have to be careful. I think they'll have to be selective in which companies they buy. And just based on this, I'm just going to screen share here and what I was showing you guys earlier. And you'll see, you can see here all the basically market breakdown. And this is an article by Forbes that just popped up a couple days ago, actually. And you can see BlackBerry before the good technology purchase was at 9.5% of the market share within EMM. And then good technology was at a 9.7, so just slightly above BlackBerry. But now with the purchase, BlackBerry is above 19%, around 19.2% of the market now, which is heads and tails above, AirWatch by the next
so that does put them in the lead. And I think even just looking at this graph, even right before the acquisition, I had expected BlackBerry to have a larger share.
Yeah.
I thought they had a much larger share. What happened?
Well, I think it's it's just another impact of the company and what's been going on and losing all the, because before, keep in mind, before, in order to get the phones, you need the server. In order, so as people stop buying the phones, there's no more of a need of a server. So therefore, they went to these other guys such as Good or an AirWatch, Mobile Iron, and so on.
Yeah, I had no idea that their market share had shrunk so much. So another reason why they could have bought good technology is just to get just a jump start on their market share.
Well, it's buying back essentially former clients. A lot of governments, a lot of big business that are in technology. So
yeah. So I'd say this is one of BlackBerry's smarter acquisitions, for sure.
I think it's definitely a smarter acquisition in terms of taking care of the competition. Not really necessarily rounding out their portfolio. Yeah, they're bringing in a few different things, but what I looked at Good, I didn't see much difference between Good and BlackBerry and what they truly offered. So I'm pretty well in line with you, Jared, in thinking that Good will eventually just vanish. Eventually it'll be good technology by BlackBerry, and then it'll be BlackBerry Good, and then it'll just be BlackBerry, and then Good will cease to exist, right?
Or it could even happen faster than that.
Oh, it totally could. It totally could. But you don't want to go too fast because businesses tend to get scared when big changes are being forced down their throats. So we'll have to wait and see. I think they'll take their time and explain to the Goods clientele, what benefits good being owned by BlackBerry will bring to them.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it'll be interesting. But moving along, and, this pretty well impacts the next topic, which is the earnings call coming up on the 25th of September. And
Yeah.
what do you guys think, Cal? What do you expect from the earnings call, this one coming up this quarter 2?
I don't know if it'll be good. I don't think it will, to be honest, but I was reading somewhere that they might. Some people think that they're going to announce the slider device just before it to kind of help
Give it a
soften
boost. So,
soften the blow. But yeah, I don't think it'll be good.
Jared, any speculation on earnings coming up?
I hope I read this right, but I think when they announced the acquisition of Good, the stock dropped a little bit.
Yeah, it went up a little bit and then it went down a bit. It wasn't really impacting on the stock.
It's funny because the investors were like, "Wow, great acquisition." Sell. I don't know why, but I think as the Good acquisition goes through, it'll make people a little bit more confident. Okay, yeah, they're making big moves, right? Like a dying company doesn't make acquisitions like that, for real.
Yeah.
Not at all.
What else? There wasn't really any other big things that happened this quarter. They've obviously been trying to, the PayPal thing. They've been trying to monetize BBM. Hasn't quite happened yet. I don't know. Investors are incredibly antsy right now. They're like, "Come on, BlackBerry, pick it up. Let's go." But I don't know. I think this is going to be another meh quarter. So maybe there's a little bit of a gain, a little bit of a loss. There isn't going to be any big shifts from the last quarter for sure. No big surprises. I wouldn't be surprised if it's the same old story. The investors or the analysts are like, "Oh, it's a little disappointing," but
Yeah, I'm totally on board. I think it's just going to be basically a repeat of last quarter, Q1, instead of what was it, Watchdogs acquisition right before. It's now the Good Technology acquisition right before, which is actually kind of interesting because BlackBerry is acquiring a company quarter by quarter at this rate as of late, and still maintaining their cash balance. Revenues are still slowly dropping, but they're stabilizing. I think one of the strategies John Chen's employing is increased revenue through purchasing, right? All these guys inflow revenues into BlackBerry, the corporation as a whole. So Watchdogs, AdHoc, Secure Smart now,
but they are
Unex.
Yeah, but they are cash flow positive now, aren't they?
They were, I forget off the top of my head.
Because I know
it was an adjusted full positive off the top of my head.
Because I know revenue's been dropping for a while just because of the old subscription system for BBOS.
Yeah.
But they haven't been hemorrhaging money for a very long time.
No, their losses have dropped significantly. And I would expect, if there is a loss, it will be another minor one. To kind of disagree with Cal's point, I don't expect them to announce the slider before to soften the blow or anything like that. They tried that once or twice, and it really it has no impact. It really doesn't. The analysts look through it pretty quickly and say, "Yeah, well, nice try. You're just trying to soften your blow or not cover up the numbers, but take the
hype.
Yeah, take the focus away from the bad numbers." So I think John is basically saying, "You know what? Here's the numbers, and down the road, maybe a few weeks after that, they'll be like, hey, here's the shiny device we showed you almost a year ago," right?
Yeah.
So it will be interesting. 25th of September. Hopefully I will be listening live. So I'll try to throw up a blog post or a channel post or site post afterwards and what my thoughts are and how the company did compared to the previous quarter and where it did previous year. So we'll have to wait and see. Yeah. But I wouldn't expect anything great. I wouldn't expect anything mind-blowing on either direction. Just basically just another slow and steady quarter of continuing the turnaround of the company and going fully cash flow positive and making those earnings again instead of losses.
Right now, I wouldn't say the company as a whole has a whole lot of momentum, and it's a better position to be in than they obviously were. But people are getting impatient.
Yeah, and you're right.
The
They
company's
don't
just
have,
kind of floating like this, and they're like, "Okay, guys, let's pick it up."
if Apple went and announced the equivalent of good technology, if they bought IBM, for example, it would be their stock would soar through the roof. Just because, Apple, because they have a lot of momentum right now. But BlackBerry,
people are excited about Apple.
Yeah, because they have momentum.
BlackBerry has yet to get people excited about something.
Yeah.
Yeah, because people are still really apprehensive about what they can do, and so.
Well, a lot of people are still scared, thinking the company might not exist in 6, 12 months, 18 months. That's just another problem that they have to deal with, and convincing people that, hey, no, we're here. We will be here for the long haul. We're not going to be the same company, obviously, but we will be here for the long haul.
Yeah, we're still hearing stories of people, groups, organizations of dropping BlackBerry because they're like, I don't think they're going to be around in a couple of years.
Yeah,
that hasn't gone away yet.
No, it hasn't.
Nope.
It has not. It's just sad, actually.
Yeah, which is why investors are getting impatient because they want to see forward. They want to see forward upward momentum, and they haven't quite shown it yet.
Nope. Eventually, they'll get there.
Yeah. Hopefully the good acquisition, the giant boost to their market share, that actually shows proper results. You increase your subscriber base, then you start seeing revenue.
Which will happen. We'll see that in probably about 2 quarters, right?
Yeah.
That's the problem there.
While we touched on this before, let's move on to the Venice and the Avenger name. The rumor about the name Avenger has been kind of floating around for a couple of weeks now.
Yeah.
And we've been hearing it from some pretty reliable sources. People have said that, Avenger's a great name, but what will Marvel think? Marvel doesn't own the name Avenger. If Marvel owned the name Avenger, they would have had a problem with Chrysler, Dodge Avenger, right?
True. Yep.
So I still think it's very possible for the name Avenger to be real, but it seems an uncharacteristically strong name for a BlackBerry device. But if Venice is what we expect it to be, it's an uncharacteristically strong device.
Yeah. So do you like the name?
I guess. Like, what phone do you use? I have a Avenger. It's different. Like I said, it shows like a sense of sort of like confidence in their device, which is good. I don't know. It's different. It's different, but I wouldn't say it's like the best name choice. But I'm really not complaining. I mean, there's a lot of ways there's a lot of different ways you can go. It could be worse in a lot of ways. I don't know. I'd be perfectly fine. Like I'm gonna get the device no matter what.
Yeah.
Whatever it's called doesn't matter.
I just keep seeing Iron Man every time I hear Avenger or think Avenger.
Yeah.
That's kind of my problem. But you go to the name and Avenger, and is this the device that BlackBerry is trying to avenge with? You know what I mean? To play on the words and try to get back it's lost clients.
What are you avenging?
You never know, right? But you're kind of right. It is a device that is completely uncharacteristic of BlackBerry. Everything that we've heard of so far with the specs and the fact that it may be running an Android OS, which is the first. So you never know. We'll have to see, I guess. How you?
Yeah, no,
Thoughts on Avenger name?
Honestly, the name, it's whatever. I personally don't like it, but it's not going to stop me from buying the phone. But this would be the phone that BlackBerry releases that would bring people back to it.
Yeah.
My brother, who was on BlackBerry, the legacy devices switched off, now won't use anything but Samsung, and he's even looking at the Avenger or the Venice, whatever we're going to call it. But he's even interested. People that were never interested in going back are now interested in going back.
Yeah. It's definitely going to grab people's attention. I think it's definitely something different. There are no sliders out there per se, not a lot of them, and especially if it comes out with the touch sensitive keyboard, right? That will definitely be a added bonus.
It's kind of funny, this whole device, all the features that we've heard about. It's trying to be a little bit of everything.
But they said that about BlackBerry 10 when it first launched too, right?
No, but physically it's trying to be everything. Because it's BlackBerry 10, but it's also Android. It's a full screen phone, but it's also got a keyboard. It's got this, it's got that, it's got that. So their target market for this thing is huge. The target market is very small, right? Not everyone is interested in a square screen and a keyboard. So even the Passport, even though it did quite well, it's still not going to appeal to a lot of people. Now, a giant slider phone like this is going to appeal to a lot of different people for many different reasons. So maybe some people don't care about the keyboard. Great, you don't have to use it. Or I don't know. We'll see how the Android and BlackBerry 10 is mixed up. Like, it'd be nice to have a BlackBerry 10 skin on top of any Android system or anything like that. And if you had a choice of operating system, perfect. You like this, use it. If you don't, use something else. And I think the way BlackBerry is going, that's like their only option. Like that's with their bring your own device thing. That's the only way they've been able to survive, is by allowing other people to bring their own phones. So if they release a phone that has customization options or options on how you want to use it, it's going to make people a little bit, it's going to make them feel more comfortable with choosing a BlackBerry device because they can use it however they want.
There's so many benefits to, choosing your OS, from the down to the individual being comfortable saying, okay, I'll use Android. Oh, I can switch to BlackBerry 10 and try that out. So I'll do that. Back to the end, the back end of it, of not having to build two actually physically different devices for two OSs, and the savings, and the company just can't afford to be building two devices and not 100% sure how well each one's going to sell. And instead, you're like, okay, I'll ship out the Venice everywhere, and everybody, you want a BlackBerry 10 Venice? Well, you take it. You want the Android Venice? Take this one too, and then you can go ahead and use whichever you want. So I think that would be a great way forward if they can do it. I can't, in my mind, I can't see why they couldn't do it. It's just it's just a matter of programming, right?
If they do it, sorry. If they do it, because if they do the Android, they'll have Google Play services on it, right? So technically, what's stopping them on having that Google Play services on the BlackBerry 10 side also? If they do that, that would also fix a lot of the problems that they have for BlackBerry 10, right?
I think it would pretty well fix everything. Like, the reality is, the only thing people can complain about with BlackBerry 10 is the lack of apps.
Let's go no apps.
No apps, right? And that's fine. And for me, I use Snap, and I download the Android apps when they're not on BlackBerry World. And occasionally now, Google Play Services is becoming more and more popular in apps. For example, I think actually on the last podcast, he mentioned, Kijiji now requires, for whatever reason, Google Play Services. Well, guess what? It's not on my phone anymore, and really I don't care. But that is the real one thing that is missing. And if BlackBerry, and you read in the forums and the blog posts, no, it's against the rules, against the coalition, whatever. Well, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? Google owns Google Play Services. And I'm pretty sure BlackBerry has a lot of things that it could toss to Google, say, hey, we can go ahead and secure Android for you. That Google would turn around and make the exception for BlackBerry to have Google Play services built into the runtime.
True.
So,
Yeah.
And this kind of leads into our next topic on the future of BlackBerry 10, where you think it's going. And it's in my mind, going to stay around for a while. But, I'll let you guys go ahead and, and throw your thoughts on that, the future of BlackBerry 10.
Well, that your last point about BlackBerry giving something and getting Google Play services back, it ties into my point that I made with the PayPal thing, that BlackBerry's focus on partnerships is more important now than it's ever been, because they don't want to invest the time, resources, personnel into making anything in-house anymore if it's not
they can't.
Yeah.
They can't. They just don't actually have
they can't, right? They can't spare the people or the money or the time. So they're like their partnership with Samsung. Hey, we'll give you extra security for Knox, but you give us a little something in return, and then we have the slider out of it, right? So I don't know. I think BB10 is still going to be kicking around in some form. I know QNX is going to be around no matter what, because that's valuable to everyone. But as far as the Cascades operating system, I actually don't even know. I think as far that's like the design of BlackBerry 10 might be around, but as far as the functional operating system, that's up in the air. If the BlackBerry 10 skinned Android tends to be very popular, that might be it. I think we get something that looks like BlackBerry 10, but that is not actually BlackBerry 10. I don't know. It's going to be really, really confusing on how that works, but they've struggled so much to get market share on the operating system, and really, it's a sunk cost. They can't get their money back on that anyway. So I don't see it wouldn't hurt them if they ditched it. If they ditched the operating system itself and just had Android work in there, but with the BlackBerry 10 design on top. I don't know.
It wouldn't hurt them, but it would hurt all the companies, the big corporations that have gone BlackBerry 10.
Yeah.
I know the company that I work for.
Which in turn hurts BlackBerry, right?
Well, I'm sure they would still support it, but I don't know if they would continue putting it on phones. If it's something that actually not just doesn't attract people, if it actually repulses people from buying the phones. Be like, hey, this operating system doesn't do the things that I want it to do, and they won't buy it.
Yeah.
But if anything, BlackBerry 10 is still going to exist for enterprise, corporate, right? Because they don't need the Happy Time Fun apps that Android has, right?
Yeah.
And BlackBerry 10 just has the apps that business needs, right? I actually expect BlackBerry 10 to be especially niche in business, and just BlackBerry 10 skin on top of Android for consumers.
No, and I think that's a great possibility, and that's pretty well how I feel that the company is going to go as well. Khaled, how about your thoughts?
Yeah, I think that's the best way that it would go. I mean, for me personally as a consumer, I love BlackBerry 10. I do. But like you said, some of the apps aren't working. Kijiji isn't working now. I downloaded the RBC app because you can submit checks on the Android version, and now you need Google Play services for that, just as of the last update. So
yeah,
you're right. It's for corporations, keeping BlackBerry 10 for them, and then so
I think the one thing that could change that keep BlackBerry 10 in the hands of consumers is if we had Google Play services. That's all we need. That's all we need, and the BlackBerry 10 would survive in the consumer market.
Yeah.
To me, I've read and people are saying that BlackBerry 10 will die. It's dead. Blah blah blah. And there's three things that stick out in my mind that are indicators that BlackBerry 10 isn't going to die. And the first one we touched on, we talked about, if BlackBerry goes ahead and completely kills the BlackBerry 10 line and switches over to Android, with the horrible decision of not passing that OS to legacy devices, it's just going to tick off too many of their current clients, and they'll just move elsewhere, like you said, Cal, right?
Yeah.
The second indicator BlackBerry 10 is going to kick around is there's been a couple beta OS pushes. So if they weren't actually even thinking about continuing the line, because the decision would have been done a long time ago. So if they were thinking about doing the line, they wouldn't be wasting time and resources on developing OSs to push out to the beta squad for them to try out. And the interesting thing is the resurgence lately of the dev channel, which is actually run by BlackBerry. It hasn't been a whole lot of activity, but there's been some activity on there. So I'm starting to wonder, why is that? Because for a while there, they completely went hands off with the devs. But I'm not saying it's BlackBerry's being lovey-dovey with their devs anymore, but the fact that the channel suddenly sparked up again and actually came back out from extinction because it was deleted, now reborn, it makes me wonder, there's something going on in the background right now that we don't know. And I would be surprised if we do get some kind of partnership announcement between BlackBerry and Google to increase that runtime ability. To we might even, maybe, hopefully, the Android runtime even jumps over Lollipop and goes straight to Marshmallow, with Google Play services built into it.
Yeah,
but you never know, right? So it's definitely going to be, it's definitely interesting. We'll have to see where this all leads to, but I still believe that BlackBerry 10 will be around for quite a while, and probably, like you've said, Jarrett, more in the enterprise focus. But for those prosumers, consumers who don't really care much about apps like most of us, it's still going to be a great device of choice. So, but that's pretty well all the topics we've had laid out there. Unless you guys got any last second things you want to bring up, feel free to do right now.
Nope, I pretty much got it all out.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna switch to a final Q&A session. We BlackBerry Central here, we go out and we ask the followers what they'd like to hear on our podcast, of course. So I'm on our channel now. I'm just going to bring up a couple questions, and feel free to chime in here. So we got Roger LeBlanc, Cell Ninja, wondering if anybody does running or cycling with their BlackBerry, and what app do you use, and how do you use it with your passport? So
I enjoy exercise.
Khaled, you into exercising at all?
Nope.
No?
Nope.
I guess the only one. So I use what's that, Casca Run, the Casca Run app, which is built by BlackBerry. It's a native app, which is really good. It actually it does everything like Runtastic does and MapMyFitness does. So you can actually get a map of wherever you're gone and see your speed and so on. And I actually do use it with my passport. So in order to do so, I picked up a waistband, I should say. So just slide it into the waistband, throw my headphones in, and away I go with the Casca Run app. So it's pretty good. Just move on.
Roger had another really good question here about how security is really important, or if it's just something you use as an argument when trying to convince someone that BlackBerry OS is superior. As far as a selling feature, security is one of those things that you don't think about until you don't got it anymore. That it's not an important thing, that you don't think about it until somebody breaks through and steals your stuff, right? And it's really hard to use as a selling feature because a lot of people never have had security issues. It's hard for them to visualize or imagine the value in having a fully secure phone. The people who have been hacked or have had their phones, stuff taken off their phones or their pictures taken off their iCloud, they are the ones that understand the value of a highly secure phone. So security as a selling feature doesn't really work for consumers. I mean, it's great to have, obviously. I mean, I'd rather have a phone with security than one without. Like, for example, I have two devices here. I prefer to do my banking on my BlackBerry. right? Like, I don't know how it affects the real security, but I just feel more confident in doing personal information stuff on my BlackBerry, because I know if it's on an Android device or an iPhone device, who knows? Who knows what'll happen, right? But as far as, hey, you should buy a BlackBerry because it's more secure than Android, you'd be like, I don't know what that means. I don't know how it affects me.
What's your thoughts, Kyle? Is security important to you as a consumer?
For me, it is, but I mean, like, just like you were talking about, my uncle actually, his iPhone got hacked. The hackers took over the whole phone, started accessing everything on the phone, and like he'd be looking at the phone and watch somebody navigate through the phone. So he had to completely wipe it, and now that he's experienced that, he's looking for something else.
Yeah.
But unless it hasn't happened, you wouldn't.
Yeah, it's one of those things you don't think about.
I think it's a residue of the evolution of the phone too, right? Because before, when you had your own flip phones, security wasn't a big deal. Like, what word are you going to take? Oh, contact. A few people's phone numbers. You can have a couple ex-girlfriends or, girls on the sides that you call it up, or boys, depending on which way you went. But that was pretty well it. But now, as the phones become more and more developed and more information gets stored onto them, to the point now where, credit cards and payment information, banking and all that stuff, it's becoming more and more of an issue, even on the consumer side. So eventually, I think we will start hearing of cases of identity theft through their cell phone. Yeah. And I wouldn't be surprised that it's already happened and people just don't realize that it happened through their phone. But, to me, it is one of those things, like you said, Jared, it's one of those things we use, but until people experience it, you don't know what you got until it happens, right?
Yeah.
We got a question here from Sunny. He says, will BlackBerry Venice have two models, BlackBerry 10 Android, or one model with the option of both OSs? So we don't know, but how about you sound off on your preferences, guys? One model BB10, one device BB10, one device Android, or one device with the option of either OS. What's your thoughts, Val? What would you prefer?
One device with the option, because I know I'm going to want to try both, and if I have to buy two devices to try both, I'm going to be pretty pissed off.
Yeah.
Jared?
I heard that was sort of the basis between the Venice and the Victoria or something. Like, there's different code names for like the same device, and that there was the rumor that one was going to be a BlackBerry 10 device, but the other one was going to be Android. I don't know how much truth there is to that. I think it would be nice to switch OS or have a choice of an OS depending on initial startup to decide what you want to do. But I actually like the idea of having a combined OS where it's the core is QNX. You have that security and that multitasking, but you also have Android on top, and then a BlackBerry 10 skin. So functionally, like the end user, all they see is BlackBerry 10. I personally don't like the home screen and the app screen. It's redundant to me. Android is a huge mess as far as UI. A lot of people would probably disagree with me there, but I don't know. I would prefer BlackBerry 10 skin. As far as Android in the middle, I don't know how that affects processing or what kind of stuff that controls. The only thing I care about is having a phone that looks and acts like a BlackBerry and has Google Play services.
Exactly.
That's all I care about.
Yeah. Ultimately, for me, I am a huge advocate of the one device, two OS option. Hopefully what we'd see is the Android OS with the BlackBerry 10 type skin, and then the option BB10, would be within BlackBerry 10 Google Play services incorporated with a very much updated Android runtime. And I would be an extremely happy man, both as an individual, but as well as an investor. So, time will tell. We're hopefully getting there. Mobile World Congress was when again? Was that back in? I can't even remember when that was anymore. It was so long ago.
Last year.
It's getting to the point where it's like, okay, you teased us. There's all kinds of hype. Just get on with it and push it out already, right?
Yeah.
So, but that's pretty well the time we got, guys. Yeah, the man saying that it's time to go.
Yes, I was excited.
So thanks for coming out, you two. To our viewers who are watching us, thanks for tuning in here at BlackBerry Central Podcast, and stay tuned. Hopefully, in a couple weeks, we're really trying to get on track and do a podcast bi-weekly. And actually, Khaled is actually coming in to be one of our podcast gurus. So, welcome to the team again, my man.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, and it's been great. So, thanks for coming
And
out.
again, go buy a T-shirt.
And go buy a T-shirt, exactly, and hopefully win that BlackBerry of your choice, the power of your choice, less Porsche design, of course.
Yeah, we can't afford that.
All right, take care, guys.